Hello there, my name is Wednesday, and welcome to day 5 of Sudoku September. This time we're delving into the Artisanal Sudoku pack. This one is called Even Flow. The link for this will be in the description. But yeah, it's all Sudoku rules apply, thermometers, digits in the thermometer increasing the bulb, German whispers along green lines, digits differ from their neighbours by at least 5, and digits in the square are even. Okay, so let's start with it. So, I guess we could start looking at this one, is what intrigues me. At least to start with. So, actually, does it? Maybe not too much, actually. I think this is an interesting thing. So, thermometers do have a few limitations in terms of what can be on them. Because we know mine could only be in one place in the thermometer. So one of those is a 9. It would also be worth noting that this can't be a 5, because 5 cannot be on a German whispers line, which is actually probably going to be what a lot of the restrictions are going to come in. So this is at minimum a 6. Now, I think digits can repeat on a German whispers line, especially in here where there are multiple boxes. I think it's okay. But this German whispers line looks interesting. This is also mostly a mirror. I guess actually 5 can only be in 3 places in box 1. 5 can only be in 4 places in box 7. I think a lot of this to start with is just going to be figuring out where 5s can't go. 5 can be in 4 places in box 3. Well, I guess it's not too... I would say the fact this is basically symmetrical is going to be intriguing, especially since 5 can't be in the center, which is normally how the symmetrical ones would work. But do we have anything majorly interesting? I guess we can start with this. So 4 and 6 on a German whispers have only one thing they can go next to. 4s can only go next to 9s, and 6s can only go next to 1s. So not only can 4 or 6 not appear on any of those 3, because they touch 2, and you cannot have 1 be on both of those, or kind of 5 on both of those, because they're not Sudoku rules, but they can't even be on the ends, because they have to touch an even, and for 4, the furthest away even is only 4. So we know 4 and 6 cannot appear on this German whispers line at all. So these must be 2 and 8 as a pair, and so are those. And we can use a sim logic there and there, so that is not 8. So I guess the next thing would be, what would this be? So if it was an 8, it could be 3 or 1, because it can't be a 2, because it would be ruled out by row. And if it was a 2, it would be either 7 or 9. Which I don't know if that's majorly useful, but I think the fact that we've got 2 and 8 restricted to only 4 in box 1 is going to be very useful, especially if that isn't a 2 or an 8. Similar thing, 2 and 8 being restricted in this thermometer is actually really useful. 8 can only go in one place in the thermometer, because 8 cannot go early, otherwise it ends up basically running dry. So that must be an 8. And 2 cannot go here because there wouldn't be enough to come before it. So 2 is ruled into one of 2 places in that row. We know 8 must be on the bottom row in box 7. And we know that 2 must be in the middle in box 7. Oh, that must be a 9. It's the only place that, I guess, could go at the end of that. The thermometer. We've got 3 squares in this box. That's either a 4 or 6. And same here. So this is either, well, it can't be a 9, because we've got a 9 in that row, so that must be a 1. So that is a 6. And a similar thing, that can't be a 4, because 9 would be blocked as well. Okay. Now, 1 doesn't have restrictions like a 6 does. So that could be, I guess that could be a 6. It can't be 8. It's either going to be 6 or 7. This, don't think is any major, nothing that's forced restricted. That's can't be 9, that can't be 8, that's either 6 or 7. 1 has to be on the thermometer, so it's got to be at the bulb, and that forces 2's position. So 1 is in the middle as well. 6 is in one of 2 positions in box 9. 2 and 8. Well, 2 cannot is forced into one of 2. There. And intriguingly, that would mean that neither of those can be 2. So, well, nah, that's not true. If, okay, whatever one that 2 is next to forces them to both be 8s. Now, that would force both of those to be 2s, and therefore, if that one isn't a 2, that's got to be a 2, that's got to be a 2. So it's worth noting that those are the same. And let's go very dark green. And those are the same as well. Oh, actually, no, we know what those are. Never mind. We know those are both 2s because they can't be 8s. So that's 2, 2, 8, 8, and that's 2. Okay, that's done. 2 is now in only 2 places in box 7. 8 is in only 2 places in box 7. And neither of them are on the grey squares. They are 4 and 6. Which means that cannot be a 6, that is a 7. Does a similar thing happen? Oh, that's either 1 or 3. Does a similar thing happen in this box? Yeah, neither 2 nor 8 can go on there. 8 is in one of those, 2 is in one of those. The remaining ones are 4 or 6 pair. That is 7. That places a 7 here because that's the only place that it can go in box 9. And I'm immediately starting to see some kind of symmetry if you go from top left, bottom right. Where 1s and 7s seem to be like, they either mirror into themselves or into each other, I guess. But I'm not sure. I'm not going to like rush onto that because it might end up being wrong. 7 and only 2 places there. I guess we're saying that anyway. Now, what could be here? So, that again, that cannot be 6 or 8, so that's 7 or 9. And it's the same here. Now, 9 basically means it could be anything. It's either going to be, well, 1, 3, or 4. That's just a limit. Now the 4 or 6, right? So we know that's going to be either 1 or 9, and we know this is going to be either 1 or 9. So neither, we actually, yeah, we've got a solution. That's a 9, that's a 1, that's a 6, that's a 4, which means we should do a similar thing up here. Yeah, because if that was a 6, that would have to be a 1, but it can't be, so that one is the 6. That's a 4, that's a 9, that's a 1. And 8 is now forced in box 3, and also in box 7. 2 is forced in both. That is a pair of 5 and 3. As is those. That cannot be a 6, so we've got the 6 in box 9. That cannot be a 4. Oh, no, okay. I got 3, 4, 5, but I don't think there's any major restrictions. That cannot be a 4, that's either a 3 or a 5. And it's the same as that one. So that is a pair, that's 4, or it is 9. Oh, okay, this box. That cannot be 2 or 8, when it can't be 4 either, so that's a 6. 8 has to go here. in box 1. 2 has to go there. 8 being on that round bound line, no German whispers. Means that's either 3 or 1. Oh, there can't be 1, that's a 3. Because we've got 1 in column 1 anyway. That's supposed to be a 1, that was a 5. 3, 5, 5, 3. Final one is 2 boxes of 3 and 4. Okay. 8 in the middle has to go there. Now, I think that's all the 8's done. That's all the 2's done. 6 has to go there. That places 6 into. Well, 6 can't go there, so that must be 6. Actually, that's an interesting point. They can't both be the same, so that can't be a 4. And it can't be 3 either, that's a 1. Didn't consider it has to touch both ends. Now, 6 in this box has to go there. I think that's all the 6's done. That needs 3, 4. So we've got a. I think I'm going to do that. 1 we can do, is there. We've only got 1 left, which is there. 3 is in one of 2 positions in box 2. 3 being on that line forces that as a 9, and actually that's a 5-9 pair, isn't it? That's the end phase 5 can go in column 3. And that is forces a 3, and that is a 7. Okay. So that has to be a 4. That has to be a 7. Final one in row 3 is a 9. That solves that German whispers line. And row 8. We need a 3, 4, 5. That cannot be 3. 3's in one of those. Places 3 there. Final one in column 6 is a 5. Final one in box 2 is a 4. That makes that a 3, 4 pair. That makes that a 5. We know that is a 7, 3 pair, which we can solve. And that solves the middle. And the final 7. No, not final 7. Final 7 is that. Final one in box 8 is a 5. That is either 3 or 4. That cannot be 9. They are a pair of 5 and 4. They are that one. It's a 4. Has to be a 9. That's either before 5, but there's a 5 in the middle of them already. It's 4. And we can put in all of those. Final 2 are a 5 and a 9, and it'll be 9 and a 5 and a 5 and a 4. We are done. Pretty glad I was able to get that done in one video. Next one will probably be a hard New York Times, which will be done over 2 videos most likely. Yeah, that is day 5 of Sudoku September, and thank you for watching.